Hi, welcome to the Crafty Knit Twins YouTube channel. My name's Becky. This is our first one of many teaching you guys how to crochet, and the first lesson is going to be what you guys need for it and then making a slip knot and a chain. So the first thing we're going to go through is what you guys need. So I got these just from Amazon, so you don't have to get them from any specific craft store, or you can go to one. So I've got a little book. So these are my collection of crochet hooks. Normally different colours mean different sizes. As you can see, this big one is an 8mm hook, and all the way down here we've got a 2. So your different sizes will be based on the size of yarn that you use, whether you use a really thick yarn, so for thicker hooks, or a really thin one, which we want a thinner hook for. So the first thing you need is that. You do not need this many hooks. Obviously, if you want to use loads of variety of yarn, then you need this many, but if you just want to stick with a double knit yarn, which is the most common one, you probably need a 4 or a 4.5, which is this one here. You just need one of those for now. So the next thing that is really important to have is some scissors. So these are really pretty, they've got little daisies on them, they don't need to be this nice, but yeah, just using scissors so you can cut your yarn when you need to is really important. Essentially, you can crochet with just these 2 and then some yarn, but a few additional things that I would definitely have handy would be some stitch markers. So these are, again, I got from Amazon, and you can see they've kind of been rifled through and I've used them quite a lot, but these are kind of put through stitches to kind of show where you are. So either the first stitch in your round or the last stitch in your round, that is really, really helpful just for you to identify, so you don't have to question, am I at the start again? And the next thing, it depends what you're doing, what kind of work, if you're doing a blanket or clothing or granny squares. But the next thing I would really recommend is a tape measure, just so that if it is a jumper you're making, you can be like, right, I got to 10 centimeters, we can measure it there, instead of kind of guessing what you're doing. And the only other thing that I would say is very high up on the list to grab would be some sewing needles. So I've got mine in a little pot, and they come in different sizes, but this is when you cut your yarn at the very end of your work, you can use it to kind of thread it back through so you can't see those loose ends. Again, some people kind of just ignore these and just keep them hanging. This is all kind of about making it look good, but not necessarily important, but I would definitely get them. So the next important thing you need is your yarn, and there are different sizes from this. So this is your 4-ply one, that's nearly the smallest you can get. And on here it says 4-ply, it says how much you get, and it also tells you what size hook to use. So this is a 3.25mm. And the next one is a double knit. So DK, double knit. Again, 100 grams. And this one says, sometimes they're a bit harder to find where it says to actually use. There you go. So upside down, but a 4mm hook. So this is what I would recommend starting with. It's the easiest to work with at the start. And then going up in sizes, you've got Aran, you've got Chunky, and then this one is super chunky. They'll always say what they are on it. This one did have a label, but I have taken it off because I've started using it. And they will always say what size hook to use as well. But I recommend starting with your double knit and using a 4mm crochet hook as well. So once you've got your yarn and your hook, you're ready to go. And the first thing that we're going to show you how to do is how to create a slip knot. And this is how you start all of your crochet bits of work. So once you have your crochet hook and your yarn, we're going to learn how to do a simple slip knot. So what you're going to do is get your index finger out in a line like that. And then you're going to get your yarn and you're going to wrap it around that way. So your yarn is pointing away from you. And then you're going to get your thumb and your middle finger and trap it in between like that. So you should have this kind of loop forming. This one, it needs to be on the left, caught this side, and then you just got to wrap it around your thumb like that. And again, trap it there. You kind of sat with a little V shape going down. And then all you need to do is this first loop, bring it over, and then you just pull your index finger up. And that is what you will do first with your slip knot. Then you just pop your crochet hook in, pull both ends and then that will slip around your crochet hook like that, and that is how you start. Once you've learned how to do your slip knot, the next thing to do is to learn how to hold your crochet hook and your yarn. So just hold it kind of in between, grip like that. I love these crochet hooks because they're rubber and it's actually quite nice to grip. And then you want your index finger again, wrap it around this bit and point it upwards. And as you can see, that's kind of flicked the slip knot up all the way you don't want it. So to prevent that, I get my middle finger and my thumb and this little tail here, I just hold it down. So all it is those two down, index finger up. This index finger helps with your tension. So if you're holding it really loosely, then your actual tension of your work is to be really loose, which just means it might be a bit gappy, a bit holy. If you hold it really, really tightly, then all your stitches are going to be so tight that it might be hard to work into. So this is just about practice, really, about how tight to hold your yarn. But yeah, index finger up like that, middle and thumb here. You're holding your yarn and your crochet hook correctly, the next thing you're going to be doing for most pattern is creating a chain. So these are just what your stitches you're going to be working up. So all you're going to do is your crochet hook, you got it around the yarn and pull it through that loop there you've already created. And as you can see, that creates a little V shape. So all crochets are kind of worked V's. So one side, another side. So we'll do it again. So you've got crochet hook, your yarn behind you, and you go round like that. And you can just hold it. So you can see this is our working loop, which is attached to our first chain. And now this is our working yarn. And literally just put it through like that. So we've done 2 chains there. And as you can see, there's 2 V shapes. And then this loop you don't count because that is on your crochet hook. So the pattern you might be working from might say to do 10 chains. So let's do that. So we've got 1, 2 already. So round and 3. That's 3. 4, round and 3. And as you can see, as I'm working up, I'm not holding this little bit anymore. I'm working and holding kind of the work closer to the crochet hook as I go. Because if I keep holding this, again, that's going to kind of be really hard to pull through. So 1, 2, so how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we've done. So I'm holding the work now, round through 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is 10 chains. So that's nice and simple, and we'll show you what to do in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed the first week of learning how to crochet. Next week we're going to be going over US and UK crochet terms and then doing the right and the wrong side of your work. Please follow along if you want more tutorial videos.